He's international, so we'll give you an international look.
Oh no. Oh no. All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon coming to you with another reaction to Ned's Declassified. This one is called Bad Hair Day, and I see in this random still frame, it doesn't look immediately like anyone's having a problem, but I'm guessing that there will be. So bad hair day, definitely part of a lot of students' life. I remember hearing students talk about that quite a bit. I remember experiencing that quite a bit in school, you know, back when I did have hair, but I'm wondering what take the show will have on this issue. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please click the link below to become a subscriber. Without further ado, let's get into the episode.
Hair. It's not a school subject, but it's a major school topic.
Yeah, it is.
You have your great hair and your big hair.
Cut that thing on your head and maybe we'll talk.
Some have bad haircuts.
Yeah, ever since the first episode of Ned's Declassified, when we were introduced to Coconut Head, I think they called it the last minute mom job, I think is what they called this. But Coconut Head goes all through the show, I guess, with the same haircut.
Some just have bad hair.
Comb over, Mr. Quest.
But no
Oh, is
matter
that
what
Mr. Chop Saw? I didn't think he had hair.
your do is a total don't, check out these tips. For guys, ball caps will cover up the...
Yeah, it will solve this problem, but almost every school I've ever heard of or been at does not allow hats during the day. So some schools will allow it, you know, after school. They don't tend to care, or if you're outside doing something, maybe, depending on the school's handbook, it may be different from school to school. But a lot of schools just do not allow hats, particularly in the building or while class is going on.
Nice. Where'd you get it?
My mom gave it to me for a haircut. But the high school cosmetology class is giving free haircuts today.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. So my first thought was she's going to send an 8th grader out and just get his own haircut, I guess. It sort of depends on what his situation is and what's available near him. But he mentions that the high school cosmetology class is giving free haircuts. I have heard of that before. It's not very common. Now, cosmetology is something that some high schools have. It's not going to be something that you find at every single high school because it's not a core academic subject. However, I have been at schools where that is a program that the school has, and there are classes, and students do practice doing people's hair, or at least the hair of like mannequins and stuff like that is not real, but I'm guessing they're going to allow them to practice on real students. That would be a bit of an issue. I don't know if I've seen that before, but I guess technically you could. I do remember like high school culinary program that would provide food for different things, but as far as cosmetology, I guess you could do that. I'm not sure if I've seen that before, only because of the potential for students to get really upset if something happened to their hair. They mention at the beginning of this episode that it's a big topic around school, and yeah, can you imagine if someone messed it up? That would be a real issue, but I'm guessing Ned may be able to take advantage of this.
So I sneak across the street during study hall, snip snap, I look great, and I...
Did he say sneak across the street? You cannot sneak across the street. If he's able to do that successfully, then both the middle school and the high school have a huge issue for just allowing him to do that and not asking any questions or stopping him. If they're able to do that in the cosmetology class, he may be able to do that through legitimate means, like after school or at a special event where they offer that to give the cosmetology students some opportunities to practice.
I use this sweet 20 to take Susie on the date of her life after school.
Have you seen Krebs' new security system?
Cameras. Now, the lasers, I've never seen that. Now, cameras, yes. Yes, ever since I remember, there were cameras in schools, and it's gotten really, really good as far as the capabilities of these camera systems. I have seen and used some that have facial recognition and other features that are a bit more high-tech. Ever since I can remember, schools have had cameras in different places. Now, the laser grid here, no, I've never seen that.
Don't worry, because I've got a well-thought-out plan.
Okay. When he said well thought out plan, I thought to myself, yeah, it's going to be like the simplest, most boneheaded plan in the world. And here it is, Ned's free haircut plan. You just go. That's the whole plan.
Good plan.
Notice anything new about me?
You're a cat burglar.
Who stole a mini muffin?
Take a closer look.
What?
You're getting a mustache.
I have a mustache, and once Lisa gets a look, it'll be goodbye,
I don't
boys,
think
and
so.
hello, the man.
I don't think so. That's so
Guys,
weird.
it's just hair. Let's not freak out about it. What's up? How are things at Polk?
Just
I don't
stop.
like hair.
And I'm guessing that he wasn't referring to her hair, but maybe just in general, maybe his own hair. I'm not sure. And that is a lot of Post-it notes. I don't know if you saw that. That's really excessive.
Word in the hall is you're gonna bust out of here for a free haircut. We want it.
I want it off, man. I want it all off.
So this is his strategy. That's really weird.
Simon, I think you have something on your face.
I know. Would you like to touch it?
So weird.
Sure.
Ugh.
Is that blueberry muffin?
That's so gross. Okay. I don't know what to say here. I don't think that would work very well to begin with. Back in this day, you did have security cameras that looked like that. Nowadays, they don't. They look a lot different. They have the little domes where the camera is actually behind the glass, so you can't do stuff like that. You would still be able to see him do this, but then I guess, I don't know what kind of recording capability they had in this era. I think they had that. I think they would be able to go back and see that it was him that covered up the camera. So even if they don't catch him going across the street, they will have him on camera doing this to the cameras, and he would probably be suspended for that.
Hey, you have hall passes?
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
Your new hair is weird.
Okay. And he would get some in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension for that. I forgot that guy's name.
We'll never make it out that door. We're not going out that door.
What? Okay. And Mr. Quest, the actor that plays him, must have gotten like a new contract or something, because he's been in the last few episodes, especially the last one about the bus. I really enjoyed that one.
I need your hair expertise.
And why would I help you?
Because I'll invite you to my house to swim on Saturday.
I don't like to swim.
Ned'll be there.
You need curls now.
And I never understood that, because for so long in this series, Missy did not like Ned at all. And then all of a sudden, at a certain point, several episodes ago, it was like that. Like she just did a total 180 and now likes him again. I don't understand that. And you do have students that are like this. What I mean is they obsess over their appearance. You do have that. I remember that as a student and in working in various schools, seeing that you have certain students that just obsess over that. It's not exactly good. I mean, it's good to maintain a good physical appearance and good grooming and etc. But to obsess over it like that is not good.
The print in this book is so small, I thought this might make things easier to see. Do you see anything?
So bad. He's got to stop. That is so disgusting.
Nothing but your amazing smile, which is freaking me out a bit.
Yeah. No.
Free haircut, you.
I don't know how many times these kids have had to get inside of trash cans in this series, but that number would be quite high, I think. Uh-oh.
Ned? Coconut Head? Is that you?
He must teach at the
Come
high
over.
school in the morning.
Come on.
Ah, yeah. He says he must teach high school in the morning. You do have that, particularly with someone like a music teacher. I myself have done that as a former music teacher, where I worked for a time at a pretty small school district, and I would teach both high school and middle school during parts of the day. because you just don't have quite as many students who may take music at either the middle or high school as you do all the other subjects. That is actually pretty common, especially if you have the schools that are like right next to each other. You may have teachers like the music teacher or the world language teacher, or what we might call exploratories or connections, or some schools call them specials, classes outside of the core academics, where you might have a teacher that teaches both middle and high school. So yeah, Mr. Combe over here is at the high school for his morning class and sees an ed. That's going to be a problem.
Forgive me! Save myself!
Uh-oh. Okay, and here's the thing about that. It is conceivable that the cosmetology class would offer free haircuts, but they would not allow Ned to do this, and he cannot sneak in the back door, particularly now, school safety the way it is. You just can't do that. Now, in this era, maybe. Let's say that you don't have all the exterior doors secured like you would now, and he's able to sneak in the back door. So he would go in the back door. So imagine it. You've got your cosmetology class, and you're the teacher, and you have some random middle school kid show up there with no parents and just say, I want a haircut. You would immediately be like, where are you supposed to be? You're not supposed to be here. You would not just give them the haircut. You would immediately call the principal and say, find out where this kid is supposed to be. Is this a kid that goes to Pole? He could get in some pretty serious trouble. He could be suspended for this.
I still don't like hair.
Really? It's
He probably
that
means
bad?
his own.
Bad for me. Yes.
Yeah, he probably means his own hair, which looks fine, but she thinks that he means her own hair, which is making her a little upset here.
Plan B. He's international, so we'll give you an international look.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm just sort of bracing myself for whatever's going to happen. And clearly, I think he meant his own hair. He didn't like his own hair, not hers. So now Missy is going to do whatever she's going to do to Moses' hair, and it's going to backfire, and he's going to be like, well, I liked it. It was fine, but now I don't because of what you've done to it. That's my prediction.
How about now?
Just stop.
Feynman like hair?
Sorry, still don't like hair.
What?
And are we up to?
J, which stands for Japanese Bubblegum Pop.
What?
I'll explain later.
What? Oh, they messed up the back? Yeah.
What's a middle schooler doing here?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the fact that they allowed him to get a haircut and didn't ask any questions is a huge problem.
Haircut's free. Save $20.
Yeah, came out good. It's a good thing the haircut's free, because the picture's gonna cost you $20.
What? Yeah, that's some pretty straightforward bullying on the part of these high school kids. And depending on their schedule, they may have a few minutes here where they can be in this little courtyard area, wherever they are here. But you're going to have teachers out there. You're going to have teachers that would have observed this bullying here.
A little accenting. Let's see them notice the new me now.
Nice mustache.
Oh,
School
you
nurse.
noticed?
Look, I'm having a bad hair day. I got 4 cases of lice in there, and I need to dispose of these combs. Now, get these to Gordy, and wear this so you don't get any nits.
No. That's a potential firing for this nurse. I haven't seen the school nurse in a while. I always said whoever did casting did a really good job with her, but I haven't seen her on the show in a while. But you cannot do this. Now, she mentions head lice. Head lice is a real problem. Ever since I can remember, you have different things written in the school handbook about head lice and what has to happen if head lice are discovered, and the amount of time a student has to be out and what they have to do and so forth. But it's a serious issue in some cases if a student has repeated incidents of that, but you would never give this to Cookie and tell him to dispose of it or tell him to give it to Gordy. You wouldn't do that. This nurse could absolutely be fired for this.
Quiet! We're taking a test in
Mr.
here.
Sweeney?
Yeah, he's doing me a favor.
Well, then have him do it quietly.
It's Principal Riley at the high school. Someone set off the alarms at our school. So be on the lookout for anything suspicious.
Yeah, and school administrators do communicate with each other if there is some sort of incident involving students at 2 or more schools. I do see this happen. The most common scenario where this does happen is in the case of sporting events. So let's say that different schools have a football game or a basketball game or whatever it is, and you have some sort of issue that happens at that game. The school administrators would typically work together to hold the proper parties accountable, whether that means sharing information like this with Krubs and that other the principal of the high school, or sharing security footage and things like that. I have seen that done before. Still at it, huh?
Hey, Ned? Wait, stop! Stop!
I was about to say, this is probably, or actually before, the previous scene was a potential firing for Mr. Quest here for allowing Ned to go out the window and not noticing that he entered his room and climbed out the window. That would be really serious. What? Okay, yeah. That's a potential firing for Krubs. Granted, I guess he thinks that it's a random person. Let's keep going before we call it.
Next stop, the big house.
So there's no way he would think, especially after getting that close to him, that it's not Cookie. He would be able to immediately tell that it's Cookie. So yeah, that was a potential firing. You cannot tackle students, and you could argue, well, I thought it was. You're going to at least talk to them. You have people that sometimes may enter the school that are there to, let's say, replace the drinks at the vending machine or something like that for all sorts of reasons. You wouldn't just immediately tackle them. You would at least say, you know, hey, have you been to the office? Did you check in? Did you get a visitor's pass? You wouldn't just tackle them. So he could be fired for that, even if he wants to argue, well, I thought it was, you know, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. That's not the procedure either.
Hey, Ned.
Hey!
Hey, got a haircut.
Yeah, great haircut. Nothing's worse than a bad haircut.
Right. I'm really looking forward to our date. I
Oh, no.
hope you didn't go to too much trouble.
No trouble at all. See you later.
I wonder if they
There's
told on
something
him.
you want to tell us, Ned?
Because you look very guilty.
I wonder if they ratted him out or if they told on him. Mr. Chopsaw saw him, and so did Mr. Comeover, so they really don't need that. They could just tell Krubs. Krubs could hold him accountable for having left the school.
Well?
So weird.
Oh, come on! I have tried everything!
And now the truth will come out that he wasn't talking about her. Let's see.
Jennifer, is there a problem?
I haven't seen this teacher since season 1, I believe. The Spanish teacher, I believe, mostly because of Cookie. But I do remember her. I haven't seen her on the show in a very long time.
Here? He says he doesn't like my hair, but I have tried every hairstyle known to man. He has hair issues.
Femen, tá tudo bem? ¿Qué está pasando?
Nada, tô dizendo pra ela que eu não gosto daqui, eu tenho saudade do Brasil, da minha...
Sounds like Portuguese. I think this is Portuguese that they're speaking here. That's what it sounds like to me.
Femen was saying that he doesn't like it here. He misses his home in Brazil.
Okay,
Oh.
yep.
He doesn't like here.
So it was a communication issue. So I was wrong. He wasn't talking about his hair. He was trying to say, I don't like here. But because of the pronunciation issue, she thought he meant hair, and because of the context, that's pretty funny.
I don't like hair either.
Right.
Me, Cookie. The mustache is fake.
Oh, really? Oh, what do you know? It is you.
Now what does he
Good thing
do?
you don't have any facial hair yet. That would have hurt.
No apology or anything from Krubs? No. I mean, that was... it. We'll count it as one potential firing there.
You're gonna take me to Krubs?
No, we're going to help you.
How?
As men with bad hair, we have to stick together.
Just promise us you won't sneak out of school again.
Yeah, and they could all be fired for that, for failing to report that and helping him and basically being a little accomplice there. He left the school, went across the highway or the street, and went into another school, and you can't do that. So Ned's parent would be pretty upset if they knew that these teachers knew about that and allowed that to happen.
What can you do to help?
Yeah, I don't know. Are they gonna like... Okay. What? Are they gonna like cut off some of his hair and like paste it to the bald spot? I'm not sure what they're doing. Or like attach it to their hair, like some extensions or something. I don't know.
It looks great!
And we scraped together $17.52.
So you'll have to go small on the popcorn.
Small.
Nice hair.
You too.
I like hair. I like a mustache.
What?
And I'm ready to go on that date with Susie.
Hey, Ned, I'm ready.
Change your plans, caught sneaking into high school by surveillance photos, boy.
Yeah.
Because now you have a date with Moy in detention.
Yeah, and that probably wouldn't foil his plans. So detention typically takes place right after school. Nowadays, a lot of schools don't have detention. They will do more in-school suspension or things like that take place during the school day. But detention, some schools do have it. Typically, it's an hour or so after school. It's going to be right after school until, you know, an hour and a half, 30 minutes, whatever the school does for detention. And I'm assuming that they were going to go to this movie much later than that. Unless they were going to go right after school, I guess they would have to change their plans or just do it a different day. You can't grab a kid's ear like that. That's a potential firing for Krubs. You cannot do that.
So you guys want to go to the movies?
Sounds good.
What?
Nice mustache.
All right, well, that's the episode. That one was a really funny one, and as you could tell, I had a lot to comment about because of the true-to-life nature of some of these things. Pretty unrealistic for Ned to be able to sneak out of the school like that, but I did enjoy this episode very much. I hope that the next few are just as good as this one, and then the last one, the bus episode, which I also enjoyed. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, take a moment and click the button below to subscribe. As always, I appreciate you subscribing and following the channel, the comments, the channel members, all of the support. I really appreciate. But thanks again for watching and for watching to the end of the video. I'm going to end the video here. Thanks again for watching. This has been Brandon from School Principal Reacts.